Thank you for joining me for week 6 of the Time Bubble interview series. I am your host, E.J. Borkert. For those unfamiliar with the show, this is a segment that is going to appear each weekend on my blog, where I will pick a character from this past week's chapter to interview. I'm going to be pulling these characters from a specific part of the story to talk with them about what they are thinking and feeling about what is going on in the story. Don't worry, they won't remember any of this ever happening, so this won't have any effect on the story. They will be returned to the very moment I borrowed them from, so their absence won't be noticed. This week, I asked Sanji Godard to join me. Thanks for meeting with me, Sanji.
It's a pleasure, Mr. Borkert.
First of all, I understand it was recently your birthday, so I wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you, but I don't believe that you reached through time and space to simply wish me a happy birthday. I believe you had some questions you wished to ask me.
You are, of course, right. I understand you have recently come up with a formula for your father to cause hair growth.
It wasn't just me. Alex worked on it too. And Dad helped a little as well. But we would have figured it all out before he got home if Mom hadn't taken our writing utensils away.
So you needed your brother's assistance? Does he specialize in a particular area of science that you are lacking in?
I wouldn't say that I needed Alex's help on this project, but he did help me. But to answer your question, there isn't any particular area of science that either Alex or myself could be described as lacking in. We do, however, excel in the fields of molecular biology, chemical biology, and organic chemistry.
That is quite the mouthful for someone your age. How is it that you came to be interested in these fields of study?
Alex and I have been different from the other kids we've met for as long as we can remember. They seem to be interested in seeing how much dirt they can eat, or if they have other children with them, how much dirt they can force them to eat. We, however, have always had a hunger for reading and learning. Mom bought us all sorts of picture books, and books with cute bunnies learning life's lessons through simplistic storytelling tropes, but we were only interested in Dad's collection of textbooks, and those were the books that he happened to have the most on. You know, molecular biology, chemical biology, and organic chemistry. It makes sense when you think about what he does and studies for a living.
That sounds like a dull childhood. Do you ever wish that you and your brother were like the other children?
Psst! Are you kidding? If anything, I wish the other children were more like us. At least we could communicate with them then.
You mean to tell me that you haven't ever watched the kids playing kickball or tag and wanted to put your textbooks aside and join in?
Not really. Science is what makes the world go round, and my brother and I are going to take on the sacred role of the ones that do that. It would seem quite foolish to waste my time on such simple pursuits.
I believe your grandfather would disagree with you. I seem to recall him having quite the group of friends that he spent time with.
Check again. Grandpa Mark may have been around his friends a lot, but he wasn't really with them. He was always working on some invention or figuring out how to solve a crime.
His journal starts with him playing games with his friends, an activity that he claimed to do quite frequently.
I'm sorry, did you ask me to come onto your show so you could insult me, or to interview me?
You are quite right. I apologize for getting us so far off track. I have one last question for you, Sanji. How do you feel about your opportunity to work with Dr. Bran?
I'm not so much excited to be working with him as I am at looking at what he has come up with for his application of Dad's formula. If he has really come up with a way to regrow limbs, I can't wait to look over his ideas and see if it's really possible.
I'm sure that you will have more than your fill of excitement soon enough. We've run out of time for this interview, but I wanted to thank Sanji Godard for being my guest today. I hope that today's interview gave you a little more insight into Sanji and the world of the Godard brothers, and that you will join me next week for a very special interview with a character from the Rebellion in Aquar. Look for more Time Bubble interviews to come in the future, and if you have a character you would like me to interview from the Rebellion in Aquar, leave it in a comment down below. Sanji, if you will follow these fine gentlemen, they'll make sure you get back to your story.
The Time Bubble interviews have been brought to you by and paid for by Godard Labs.